What's up, everybody? Hope everybody having a good day, man. Just coming to, say we love you. For me and our animals, our strand, and the breed, we love y'all. Thank you for the subscribers, just taking the time out to listen and to give y'all, positive feedback. And I know a lot of times we don't get a lot of positive feedback, and a lot of times a couple years ago, I used to go kind of back and forth, but now if they saying something, detrimental or something with negligence in it, I'll just erase the comment, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of time they be talking behind a laptop or their phone, or just on there talking, why this, this. We can say a bunch of things why for a lot of things in this world that happens, and a lot of them we can complain about them, nothing don't get rectified, but anyways, I hope everybody doing good. I just came on here to talk about a couple things, and we're gonna talk about the pricing of your puppies, what you should be selling them for. And I know this topic don't came up. It's a hot topic, really, and and a lot of people, they won't pay nothing for you if you ain't really got no big name under your belt, or if you ain't got a dog that's under name. And you can have a dog that have great potential, or a couple dogs that got great potential. But a lot of people, they won't take a chance with you unless they get, thorough word from somebody else that's gonna say, look, I got a couple dogs over here back in a couple days, or back years ago, or something like that, or recently, and I got some puppies off them, and they were super hot. They was just, and they maturing still at this time and day. But what should the prices be? I think, like I said, it just varies, man, with the prices on your dog. You can't knock a man's price, but sometimes a lot of stuff, we know there are overpriced stuff. Like, it's just overpriced stuff, man. It's like, and a lot of times when they, even back in the day, you remember what they were selling these dogs for, even though I know we in a day and time, but the modern day time, they were selling champion dogs for $300, $400 back then. Champions. And I know we in the 21st century of doing things, but a lot of that stuff, man, back then it was a love for the game, and that's why they was doing a lot of that stuff, man, selling it for the love of the game. And now people, they got a phenom dog or phenomenal dog, they gonna put a price tag on him just because he don't did this or she don't done this, and ain't nothing wrong with that in my opinion, but man, you gotta, be reasonable. See, me personally, how I do it, I negotiate with you to a certain extent, because I know sometimes in the back end, I feel like I'll get, granted for it, or I get, abundance from it, or I'll prosper from it. Even though if the person don't still got in good intentions, that's how I'm taking every situation when I'm giving these dogs away. And I try to give 100% satisfactory on everything. So if it don't work out, look, bring the dog back. We gonna figure this thing out. Get a dog back to me. I'm trying to figure out why weren't this dog performing like the rest of his siblings. And sometimes it may just not be his time or her time. It just may not be. And then again, she just might, or he might just be a decent dog. And then we got to make an exception for that. We got to make an exception. We got to know what it's worth. But then again, we know too that the owners don't have the experience, don't have the maturity, and they have lack of patience with these breeds. They want a certain dog or certain strand to act like another. His homeboy might have another strand and be like, I got this, and he want his to act like that. And the owner could have told you, or the breeder could have told you, look, this dog ain't gonna do this until a certain length of time. You gotta wait on that, what that owner tell you. And everybody that they don't got dog for me, they said whatever I told them, and they say the exact thing, man. He said, you was right about it. I said, man, I know, because I study. I get in and study thoroughly, and I'm still a baby at this. That's the sad thing. But I think it's genuinely in me, but a man's price should be, like I said, I don't hear the guy say this, and about $800 to $1,000, no more than that. That should be a good works man price for a dog. And we sometimes we know it get overlooked where these dogs be well overpriced for this stuff, and a lot of time that stuff that you paying cheaper for, even back then, before they were really papering dogs like that, before they even did something or became famous off a man's yard or a man's kennel, they would write the pedigree down and then, say, okay, I'm gonna put this on there. But a lot of them cheap dogs still better than them high-priced dogs. Any day you can find them. And like I say, I ain't knocking nobody for what they do. That's them, you know what I'm saying? I don't knock nobody. I just try to worry about us, what we doing over here, how we trying to improve, what we trying to implement, what we trying to comply our dogs with, and that's the, you getting your satisfactory, 100% satisfactory off a good dog for a good price. And then also I'm able to negotiate with you with the price, because I just want them to go to a good home anyways. And, I hear the guys say this too, a lot of times we don't get the money that we put back into these dogs, but I just want the breed to be great. Whoever hands it get into it, hopefully it'll be a great owner. I want it to be great. And you get your best experience for that money you paid your money for. That's what it's really about. And, I can't knock another man's how he, approach things. Or I got to have this for this. Or I got to have this for this. I got to have it. Or I should be charging more. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you still going to get glorified, because if the dog turn out like it's supposed to turn out, like you said it was going to turn out, you're going to bring more people to come to you. So it feel like, right now, if you put a price on it and you're doing up your numbers, a lot of people we know, getting some good dogs from certain kennels, this one person, he making this amount of money. If he had 9 litters, he don't made over $150,000. 9 litters, $150,000. So, and another thing too, it's all about your marketing too. That's another thing. But you can't knock a man's hustle for what he's on, getting in here. That's his way of living, or that's his way of doing things. You can't knock it. But a lot of times, a lot of these dogs are some of these, kennels you get from, and I ain't pointing no fingers at nobody, but some of these dogs are overpriced, and they ain't even worth that. They ain't better than some of these lower price, these $600, $700 dogs, or these $300, $400, $500 dogs. Some of them not. But these dogs are selling for the bare minimum, they ain't getting noticed, but they just breeding because they love it. They love it so much, and they love to mess with the dogs. They love to keep the continuance, the continuing process of the breed. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just want to ask y'all guys, what you think about the price should be on the dog? You know what I'm saying? As far as what you should be paying, and is it worth it to go out here and pay this? Or, you know what I'm saying? And some of them, they've been in it long enough to where they got a set price on it, $1,200, $1,500. And I ain't saying that's a bad price, but because a lot of them, they don't put that time in. They don't put that time in, the physical part of it, the mental part of it, the emotion part of it. They don't put the time in. So they know what these dogs going to do at a certain time, or they know what they're going to become at a certain time. And we ain't gonna, leave out. We know everybody gonna throw that dog that's gonna just be average, or they might just be subpar. They might just be below average, but like I said, man, I just try to be, me personally, I just try to get that 100% satisfactory of them. And unfortunately, a lot of times you can't make everybody happy, and I don't have to learn that too, being in the dog game. I mean, can't make everybody happy either. So, but I just try to, communicate with, the people that's, I say one price and they, and some people they'll try to pimp you. Like I had, this one, I took my dog to the park. I took my daughter's dog to the park, and they were trying to buy her. Everybody, like, they was about 100 people touched this dog, and so the guy and his family, they were from New Hampshire, and he was like, how much you want for the puppy? I was like, nah, she ain't for sale, that's my daughter dog. And so I sell them for $650. And so he was like, I got 500. So, he said, well, I told him, I said, I'll meet you up here tomorrow at the same time. But he was wanting me to meet him somewhere else, but I was like, nah, we'll just meet back at the park. So they brought me, $350, but I said, man, I thought you said $500. But they said, well, So I know they were just trying to run game. But the good thing about it, I know they was good people that they had the dog that was gonna keep the dog. So I sold it for $350 because they used to holding on to it just to be trying to be selfish, and the dog could really go to a good family. You know what I'm saying? And he told me a good thing. He was like, man, I bought another dog. I don't know if it was a pit bull or American Pit Bull Terrier, but he was some dog. He said the dog was already trying to, showing that high praise job already. So I was like, that's a good sign for us that Obsidian in the Sky, the limit, is really producing some good dogs, man. They are. And so, man, I was happy. They was happy, and that's what all of it matters. But, and sometimes you help out somebody so much, I don't treat another man's situation the same as another person just because they got over or anything like that. Now, I talk a lot about that in my videos. I don't treat the same thing because everybody don't have the same intentions, or they not being the same intentional to try to get over on you, or just say this to get this off of you. You'll know it. You'll discern it if you pay attention to body language, all this, that, and the third. But the little boy, he was wanting my daughter's dog, but I always do it for a cause when I let it go. It had to be a cause. So I was like, man, I ain't just gonna be holding on this dog. And then, as a matter of fact, I was wanting to really keep the dog because the way he was really, flirt polling him, he was acting, and everybody, I'm just like, boy, gonna make me keep this bub right here. I might keep it, And it was just one of them things, man. And I try to be, like I said, I want to get at 100% satisfactory, maybe 200% satisfactory if I can. That way, me and the customer can, get on a mutual understanding of what's going on and what's about the blood, because I don't mind talking to you about it in and out or in the middle of the dogs. I know it. I know the blood. I know my blood. I learned about my blood like just the last couple of years, just studying, and then my man's helped me put my pedigree online, and now I really know how some of the whole dog from top and bottom bred and why they done this, and just looking at some things, man. And so it's a good opportunity for me to, have a good prevalent of breedings to go along just by just looking at that, keep going in there and studying. I always get back in there and study, always. And I'm always looking at somebody else's pedigrees or the old pedigrees and seeing why they done this, or why they did this, or why they, bred so heavy on this, or, because they want to keep them traits locked in. When you keep them locked in, no matter what you do, if you outcross with another good blood, your traits just gonna stand out strong as theirs. And a lot of times, man, I was talking to a guy, and we just talking, man. I'm the type, I don't jump on every bloodline. A lot of people, you get a lot of people that they jump on everything that's hot. I don't jump on it, man. We're gonna go back to the drawing board if it ain't working. That's what we gonna do. That's definitely what we gonna do. But I'm on here, man. I just want to talk about that, about the prices. What should be a good price for a dog? And if a man got a higher price on there, depending on if you want the dog bad enough or if it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these people, they don't want to take the time out. They just want to say, if you don't buy it, somebody else will buy it. And that ain't the way it's supposed to be. We supposed to have love for the game, man. That's what it's about. Love for the game. Teach one each one. That's what it's about. And if we can't do that, then, because at one point in time, this breed, they want this breed to be extinct anyway, because they don't want it to be. That's why they keep creating stuff to compete against this breed. This breed already been hybrid hundreds of years ago, and it's only gonna keep getting better if we allow us as owners, breeders, and people that's going to come under us and lift them up to the same level to be able to do some great things with these dogs. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we're gonna keep going further. But like I said, I ain't gonna get on here and hold no time up, man. I just want to do this little video, what's the price should be when working. And I can't knock a man for what he paid, you know what I'm saying, ask. I know I don't, went down on my prices, because once upon a time I had it for $1,000 because I seen what the Lonzo Greenwood Eli Bolio was offering to my bloodline. It helped my bloodline. It helped my bloodline from being extinct, because mine was about to go if I would never bred my dog Lackey's Brit. I didn't have nothing to go to. So it helped my line from being extinct. and then I would have had to start over. You know what I'm saying? With that bloodline, but we really been doing some prominent things with mixing this in with ours, and now we gonna step it up a notch. We're gonna do a little bit more inbreeding, and we ain't gonna go heavy inbreeding, but we're gonna do a little bit of inbreeding. It's gonna be like some father daughter. We're gonna do some maybe mother son, couple that, and then we're gonna do a half brother half sister. We definitely gonna do the half brother half sister, all the same parents, and we're gonna see a lot of them, them siblings that came off one or two livings. We're gonna add them together with some line bred stuff. It's a lot of good plans that I have, and we're gonna see that come to life. We're gonna see it come to life, and we want to compete with all the three different methods: inbreeding, line breeding, and outcrossing, to see if they're gonna compete. All of them could compete with the same level instead of just focusing on one main method is inbreeding. So that's what we want to do. That's my plan, and I like the balance of these dogs, and and it's a good thing, man. Whatever, and see a lot of things that I don't, my mind come up with when I'm studying, that pedigree. If it say do this, like I thought about, I'm gonna breed Sweet Tea to, Famous. That's an inbred dog, but I can still breed her back to her dad. And I may do that just for future references, because you never know what may happen to the daddy. Now I ain't never got one female off of no man. So them are the things you got to challenge yourself with when you just breed, and don't just breed to just breed. And we don't breed just to be trying to just make money off of them. We breed because we love the strand. And then I got a cause behind these dogs. I got a cause behind these dogs because, like I say, the bloodline was left to me. A lot of these guys, that they got some of the stuff, they ain't got it like I got it. And a lot of stuff, a lot of them guys, they probably don't. The older guys that had some of this stuff, they're, a lot of them dogs old now. Like my man's Slim Jim, his sister still got a dog, a male dog off the same stuff he had, and I got a possibility to breed to her dog without no charge, just to keep that blood going, to keep it going, and to have a different combination of dogs to blend. And that's why it's so good to keep that family line going instead of just trying to outcross it to everything. You'll know when it's time to outcross. You'll know it's gonna let you know, because it's gonna be dull. It's gonna stop performing like it was. Like, dang, it ain't at its peak. Just something about these dogs, it's not at its peak, and that's one thing you have to notice when you sitting there watching them and feeding them and seeing how they acting, they corresponding with you and the other dogs in the yard, or hearing a certain sound or everything. So, but I don't gave y'all about 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here, and but what should be a good price for y'all to pay? And I ain't mad at somebody charging, what they charging. It's worth it now. I ain't mad, but at the same time, scout your options out first. Like, there's a lot of good kennels out here. Got stuff that's good working stuff. That's really, really reasonable. So, but y'all have a good one. All Will Killings of the Carolinas at your services. We definitely love y'all guys. Thank you for my subscribers for just taking the time out to subscribe to my channel. We're only gonna keep on getting better. We're only gonna keep on doing what we need to do to meet our goals, to meet our ambitions, and to meet our our love and passion for this breed, this strand. And we're just gonna keep pushing. So y'all have a good day.